Just first of all, Darren, how do you sum up morale and team spirit in the camp going into the weekend?
No, it's always been good. We obviously talk regularly and spoke about the camaraderie and the spirit of the group, and it's always been good. They're a very determined bunch when things are not particularly going in our way, and they're a particularly determined bunch when it is going our way. I think they know, and this does come to their age, a lot of them, that I think they've had those experiences as players, individuals in their young careers, where the minute they come off it, normally the young player is the one that is sacrificed for maybe another experienced player. So I think they have that kind of organic fear that if they don't keep producing, that they'll come out the side. So I largely play on that. Absolutely, that's an advantage. But we just have to keep them fit, because I think quantity at the moment is probably the most important thing. And if we can keep them fit and in this vein of form, we know we've got a good chance of winning more games.
Yeah, did you always have to manage the players off the pitch as well as on it, bearing in mind you've had 2 away games this week, a long trip to Wrexham coming up on Tuesday?
No, yeah, absolutely. I think we're still, a lot of them are still learning how to behave as a full-time professional, where, your job until you're 35, 36 is the be-all and end-all. And we're still obviously using our experience to tutor them through those passages. But I've got to say that the senior players in the players' houses are excellent at that. Josh Staunton's very good off the pitch with the players. Lawson D'Ath, who's obviously still down here with us, he's very good with the players. So there's some really good examples out there. Dale Gorman's very good. There's some good examples out there and some good role models for the players. The younger ones, the less experienced ones to follow and to mimic. So, no, they're great. They're great. They're a smashing bunch.
There are a lot of teams in the National League challenging at the moment. I think just 6 points between you and Halifax. How do you assess the National League and the amount of teams challenging in the top half of the table?
Yeah, I thought about that myself on Wednesday morning, but the bigger clubs, the ones with the bigger resources, they keep winning. They keep winning. The gaps stay pretty similar from the top sort of 2 or 3, and they're the important spots, aren't they? The top 2 and 3. We've only one going up. You can only ever really fight for that automatic place if you're in that top 2 or 3. And the playoffs, we know about the playoffs there, and that flip of a coin. But they keep winning, and they've got that little bit more depth where they can replenish and replace and still not reduce in terms of performance levels and being optimal as a football team. And I think that's an important thing. And this is why I don't want to begrudge anyone at our place for the form we're in, but I'm also realistic and balanced in trying to keep everyone a little bit humble, a little bit settled, and we're always one knock away from having to change a whole shape, a completely different balance of team, and so on and so forth. So we've just got to stay quite level. Obviously when we're winning away games, we're winning any game, and those teams above us are drawing, we're nicking a few yards on them. But we're miles off it yet. I mean, we're so far away from that sort of conversation. It's frightening, and we've just got to concentrate on Dover tomorrow.
Well, talking of which, how do you prepare to take on a side who are bottom of the table, 9 straight league defeats without a win this season? Is there any complacency at all, or is that something that you have to guard against?
No, these won't be complacent. My group won't be complacent. Absolutely not. We know exactly where we are and what we have to do. We know exactly what we're good at and what we need to get better at. Is a nice way of putting that. And we need to ensure that we prepare as we have done all the time, with diligence, with professionalism, with respect. I've got masses of respect for Andy Hessenthaler. Brilliant player. We shared a similar type mentor type figure in the brilliant Glenn Roeder, and you can never ever take anything easy against an Andy Hess-Tyler team. He doesn't allow it in his character. He just doesn't allow it. So we need to be fully prepared. We need to be highly motivated. We're obviously, in good form. There's no denying that, and we need to ensure that form stretches at least one more game.
Yeah, I think from memory, Joe Quigley scored in last season's fixture against Dover. You kind of had an update on his injury on Tuesday. Any further news?
Yeah, I don't think Joe will be back with us before Christmas. Really sad, disappointing for him. But yeah, no, his knee's not great at the moment. And so he's going to need a period of rehabilitation. We're still waiting on the exact dates, the exact estimates of where it's going to take him. But this is what happens. These players, they put their body on the line. I mean, Joe got this injury going into the corner with a couple of minutes to go at Dagenham, or a minute to go. And what happens when you go into the corner against a team desperate to get the ball back? You normally end up a bit like a tree getting hacked away at. And he just one little movement to protect the ball and keep it in there, and he's opened a part of the outside of his knee up, the lateral side of his knee up, and he's in some discomfort now, and he's been in pain all week. So everyone has to understand what these lads are giving life and limb to win football matches. Their courage and their bravery and their sacrifice and what they're trying to achieve has been outstanding.
Well, yeah, let's hope he's back sooner rather than later. Reuben Reid, where's he at in his progress returning to the squad?
Reuben's trained 2 or 3 days this week, which is obviously very good, and the first time since pre-season, since the week leading up to the Western-super-Mare friendly. So he's been back out with the group. He was great. I think it took him all of 30 seconds of being back in a training session before he was telling someone what he liked and didn't like, which is true Reuben style. And he'll do another session today. I think tomorrow's too soon. For a player in his 30s, he's probably had 3 months out now. But we will definitely be looking at, we've definitely targeted next Saturday's FA Cup game.
Sure. Is there any other team news, squad news you're able to share, or is it then the same as Tuesday?
Yeah, very similar to Tuesday. Very similar in terms of availability. Dale Gorman obviously is back from suspension, so he's a big plus for us and a big player. But apart from that, I think everyone is as they were.
And just finally, some nice things on the away terraces this week. You'll be hoping that the current form tempts a few more supporters back into Huish Park now this weekend.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not going to dig too deep into our current political state, but I know people have their opinions and they express their opinions, and they're fully entitled to in the ground or away from the ground. But without supporters, unfortunately, my hands become so tied in terms of trying to bring people in. The away support last 2 games has been just incredible. I managed to get some time with some of the supporters before the Dagenham game. The Bromley games was a bit different because they were the other side from the tunnel. But Dagenham, they're right on top of the tunnel, so I managed to get. But their support has been incredible, and those moments, I know we upset so many teams when we do our song away from home at the end when we win, but yeah, I don't care. It's a great moment for the players. It's a great moment for the staff and for the supporters, because that was freezing cold in London on Tuesday night, and to have 200 plus supporters travel on a Tuesday night to Bromley was just some effort, and it's something we bring up in the change room all the time, so that we have to show that level of respect and gratitude to our support base, because they're fantastic and great moments, hopefully moments that they'll remember for a long time.
Good luck tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. Cheers.
Darren, you had 2 away games. You've got Dover tomorrow and then you've got another away game at Wrexham, which is a fair old way. Don't these long trips get you down a bit? Or get the team down a bit?
It doesn't get me down. It's the only time I sleep.
Oh, is it?
So no, they're okay. It's just part of being a Yeovil player, isn't it? But look, I've managed a club on, at the kind of top of London, and everywhere is kind of an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah.
Our shortest journey is 4 days, no, it is tough, and what we have to do is we have to manage recovery, and sometimes rest is the best training that you can give a player. But they're stuck together 24/7 anyway, this group, because of they have to live here. So no, it's very much it gives me a chance to work one-on-one with players, give them feedback, show them some clips. It gives me a chance to reflect and review some of our work. It gives me a chance to catch up on some sort of series that I've been left behind. I always seem to watch the latest series 5 years after it came out. So lots of stuff, but no, I try and maximise our time on the bus by working one-on-one with players. I think sometimes that's like in any job, feedback is so important, and it just allows me to have that kind of one-to-one contact with players. So for me, no, it might be a little bit tedious for, I don't know what Jordan said if you asked him that. Jordan probably said he played noughts and crosses or snap or something stupid like that, but hey-ho.
He did mention cards, yeah, but that was...
It is snap. Don't let him make you think it's some like really classy, fashionable game.
So it's not casino at the back of the bus.
No, it's not. No.
Dover, I mean, we all know what happened to Dover last year, and obviously one can have sympathy for them in so much as they were making every effort to keep the club in existence, I guess. But at the same time, do you think it's a bit unfair that they should suddenly start this season on a level footing, more or less, with everybody else in the National League?
Do I think it's unfair that they're not on a level footing?
No, unfair to all the existing who didn't opt out, as it were.
Well, they're not, are they? Because they had all all of the fines and the penalties, which would have affected recruitment in a huge way. I haven't really thought about it. I mean, in 2021, I've had enough go on at my club to last me a decade.
Yeah.
So I haven't really had time to think about anyone else, especially at the end of last season and the traumas that we had. So I'm going to say I'm going to opt out of that one, Aidan. So I'm selfish and I looked after my own little empire.
Yeah, no, well, can't blame you for that.
No.
Can't blame you for that at all. Looking at the fans, do you think that Yeovil have got perhaps one of the best group of fans in the whole league?
They've been incredible. They've been incredible. The people that turn up week in, week out, and obviously those away fans, because there's a smaller, a smaller amount than at home. Obviously, it just means that we can be a little bit more. I want to say intimate, but cue the
social media
crappy responses that I'll get. But you can actually speak to people, and I love that. I love that interaction because I'm a football fan. I'm a massive football fan. So any time that we can get with them and any connection we can have with them, and that kind of personal relationship is great. We're human beings like everyone else. We're not multi-millionaires. We don't need a bodyguard to walk around and security and things like that. So we want to have that relationship, and I always felt that was an important part of my job when I joined the club. Obviously, last year we couldn't have it because there was no supporters, but this year they've been fantastic. Home fans, fantastic. The ones that that Thatcher's End is someplace, no, they've been great. They've been great. We just. For me, it's a vicious circle. Like I've said, I know everyone's got their opinion and they've got a right to their opinion, but I can't add to a winning team unless we can get a few more back in, and I think we're playing good football now. We've kind of settled at this moment on a way. And I'm hoping all of those things will attribute to to bigger gates and maybe then a bigger squad. and a better team, which is ultimately what we're all striving for. We've all got one. If there's one common denominator with us, we want to see a winning Yeovil team, and there are certain factors in that we're all going to need in order to make that a consistent reality.
7, I think, is unbeaten at the moment. The longer the run goes on, from a morale point of view, it must be great. But equally, does a sort of a. We all know that long runs are great, but sooner or later they've got to stop, and something's going to happen to it. Well, we assume it is anyway.
Blimey, he's grumpy, isn't he? Absolutely not. No. And when you come off it, you come off it. Year 1, did we win 7 in a row or 8 in a row? What was it? Was it 7? 7 in a row. We had to lose at some point, and you're going to lose games, and things are going to change, and performance levels are going to peak and trough. But I never see complacency in this group. I've never seen it in any way, shape or form. It's just not in them. I think because of the age and the ambition in them, there's a huge motivation, determination to succeed. I mean, you look at the human qualities of Tuesday night and Saturday, the way that they work together, they interact together, the way they defend together. And some of that's organisation from me and Terry, but a lot of it's their spirit and their willingness to run for each other. This is why when I hear that nonsense comment that managers have lost dressing rooms, after 21 years, Premier League down to the National League, I'm telling you, you have to be some horrible human being to lose a dressing room. You have to be not a nice guy. So the majority of it is players wanting to work with their mates and having that bond and that connection where they feel like if they're all together and all the cogs are moving in a certain direction, that they can achieve anything. And I think this group we refer to it as a special spirit and special group and things like that. But in terms of their relationships with each other, they are definitely special. In terms of our current level of playing, I don't think that's quite at the level of special yet. But at 21 years old, as an average age on Tuesday night, I just thought they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I think the biggest coaching job Terry and I have is to try and not allow them to think that they are young, and not to behave like they're young, to behave like they're senior players that have been through the rigours and the traumas. And I've got to say that Terry and I, we've done that very well, because the youngest group doesn't ever attribute to a good defensive record, ever. And we are doing fabulously well in that respect. So, no, they've been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And your kind of depressing attitude. No, we just enjoy everyone. We just enjoy everyone. We don't. I know how fickle football is. I've seen it too many times.
Does your approach to the 2 games you've got coming up change, in so much as we all know Dover, with a great respect, are struggling a little bit? Then you go to Wrexham, who are not a big, strong club. Is it a different approach from that point of view?
I don't think we can, because you can only change your approach with different attributes. And we've talked about Plan A and Plan B, you and me, over 3 years, quite a lot. And Plan A is what you work on every day. Plan B is when a player comes on and changes the direction and strategy of the team. The manager doesn't conduct it he doesn't bring the violin in just because the drums have been playing, or the saxophone or some rubbish like that. It's all about having other attributes in your squad and at your disposal. And so I don't think we can change, because realistically, Ollie Hayes trains with us a lot and has been brilliant. He's a great kid, and congratulate him on his England college, his call up. Really for that game and that situation, we had 2 outfield subs. I mean, what are we going to change? It's just nothing that we can do. So what we've got to keep trying to do is be as good a version of Plan A. I hate those terms. as possible.
Finally, you mentioned Lawson D'Ath. What is the situation with Lawson? I know he has been injured. I mean, is he fit again yet?
No. He's a couple of months off. Yeah, I mean, he did his ACL obviously, and the season finished late last year. So he did that here at Stockport late May. You know, that's a 6 to 9 month injury at best, 6 months, at worst a year. So you know, Lawson is starting to run, which has been a huge step. But he was on the bench on Tuesday night, supporting the players. He helps me. He helps the staff. I love his character. I cannot believe how much he's grown up. I know he was 26 when he joined here, but like most 26-year-old footballers, can be quite petulant, Lawson, but brilliant guy. Love having him around. He comes to all our games. He's been doing some of the press stuff, the commentary really well with Sheridan. Great football brain, and he's the first one in this morning. We just had breakfast together, and we'll do everything we can to get him back out on our pitch. I mean, there's no one at this football club that I'd like to see out on that pitch more than Lawson D'Ath. So, we're just supporting him and trying to get him through this tough time. I must say again, the PFA haven't done enough for him. They haven't done enough. Like they haven't done enough for any of the Yeovil players over the last 9 months, 12 months in particular. But that's for another forum, I think.
But presumably the plan ultimately would be to sign Lawson up again.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah. Absolutely, I'd love to get him back out on the pitch. I would love to. Nothing would make me happy.